A farmer in South Africa was growing genetically engineered corn and feeding it to his animals. His dairy cows were having problems with milk production, arthritic-type conditions, infertility, and short lifespans. The pigs were also affected.
The biggest single thing was reproductive failure. They'd have respiratory issues, things like pneumonia, for instance, and then they'd also get scours or diarrhea to the point, anyway, that they would succumb to death. They would be cannibalistic, and they would literally eat the tails right off each other. You know, Dr. Scow, he said, "You've told me so many things, we've discussed so many things. Can you narrow it down to just one simple thing I can go home and do?" And I says, "Yeah, very easily to do." I says, "Go home and never, ever put another GMO product on your farm."
After growing non-GMO corn and feeding it to his animals, within a few weeks, the health problems disappeared.
So he went along for about 5-6 months until he ran out of his feed supply. And guess what? The only feed available was, again, GMO-based feeds. The dairy herd within 60 days was right back in the same mess it was before. The swine herd took about 3 months, and they were right back in the same predicament that they were before.
In South Africa, corn is the staple, eaten 3 times a day. The 50 to 60 workers on this farm were eating only the GM corn grown there. They were likely eating more genetically engineered food each day than any group in the world.
The health issues that they was running into was things like upper respiratory, colds, runny noses, just an achy feeling similar to like having the flu, and headaches, severe, severe headaches. About once or twice a month, he'd have one of his laborers come to him, and these were not older people, these were younger people in their mid-20s through mid-40s. And he'd notice one very dramatic thing. He'd see the individual, and they'd be talking and looking at each other in the eye, and one eye would go this way, and at the same time the other eye would go this way, so they didn't track, like turning one way or the other. Now, when he noticed that, or that occurred, normally that person would be dead within 24 to 48 hours after seeing that particular symptom.
When the farmer harvested non-GMO corn for his animals, the workers also switched to non-GMO corn.
His labor force had cleared up completely of the health issues they were having, why they were on the non-GMO.
And then he ran out.
It took about 30 to 40 days, and they were right back in the same predicament as before. Since then, I've heard from him a time or two, and he says now he has all non-GMO, and thanked me for the advice of never planting another GMO.